Show of hands na lang, sinong hindi pa nakakapanood ng video? So, wala din. Okay, may I ask everyone to turn on their cameras for an attendance check? Walang sumasagot eh. I will be taking a screenshot and use this as an attendance for this afternoon. Okay, I'll start now. Ready or not? Page 1. So turning on your camera, and then even if I don't see you, that's still absent. Sorry na lang sa hindi maabutan ng screenshot. What's your class after this? Online or face-to-face?
Online po to.
Thank you for answering. Okay.
Wala po iga.
Recording in progress.
Okay, screenshots done. There will also be another attendance at the end. I will announce later how I will do that. Okay, you may turn off your cameras to conserve bandwidth. Okay, now that I have part of your attention, I'll start now. So supposedly this will be a review of the video, but according to you, you haven't viewed it. So this will be sort of an intro na lang. But I will not be discussing all the concepts in detail. It's up to you as adult learners to um, view the video and study it yourself. So um, I'm thinking kasi, well, praktikalan. Wala naman kaming exam sa ResProj, and I think or I feel like everybody's busy with their papers. Okay, but please mind that this lecture is a continuation actually of your EBM lectures in second year and will prove useful to you in the future as physicians, especially during residency because you're going to be doing a lot of EBM analysis. And personally, when you're looking at the advancements kasi in medical technology, it's really a struggle to know which is appropriate for your patient. So this is one way you can do this by critically appraising established studies or published studies on therapeutic and diagnostic modalities. So for this afternoon, supposedly you should have viewed the video first. I made it short enough sana for the time that we scheduled you for. Pero kung hindi pa, okay, fine. Just view it on your own. And I will also be supplementing that with an exercise. It's not graded, but I will be posting it siguro by next week. You're more than welcome to try it. It will be an article that you will critically appraise. I'll provide a form that you will fill out to answer the questions for critical appraisal. And once you've submitted that, I think I can program Canvas to do this. The answer key will appear. Okay, or you will be able to access the answer key. Again, it's not graded. It's for you to grasp the concepts. Okay. So for this afternoon, we will be focusing on articles on diagnosis. Next week, I think it's Dr. Biansui de Torres who will discuss the critical appraisal on articles on therapy. Okay. Okay, so for this particular discussion, I'd like to acknowledge Dr. Rakat Dupili's lecture. I will be using her sample case for this discussion just to show you the ins and outs of critical appraisal for articles on diagnosis. So this is the article. So if you view the video, there are several steps in critically appraising an article on diagnosis. The first is, of course, appraising directness, or which answers the question uh, where actually it answers your clinical question. So, of course, you have to have a well-defined clinical question. And in this particular article, uh, to answer that, you have to plot your PECO or your PCOM before, di ba? Alala niyo pa sila. Or your PEO, depending on which is applicable. So, for this particular article, so ito na po, sorry, hindi ko na na-animate. Dapat yung article mo na lalabas. But when you look at the directness of your article or whether it answers the clinical question, you compare the results of your article to an actual clinical scenario. Um, kasi in research, di ba, you always start with a question. So before you went on a search for this article, you probably had a question in mind, which is the basis of your clinical scenario here in this table. So this is a common scenario during the pandemic. We were looking for ways to accurately and safely diagnose COVID-19. So in this particular article, they were looking at POCUS, or the point of care lung ultrasound, as a possible tool for um, definitively diagnosing COVID-19. Okay, and this article now focuses on whether or not the POCUS compared to the standard at the time, the RT-PCR, is good enough. Okay. So once you've answered that, it answers your clinical question, you go on to appraising validity. So pag hindi siya pumasa dun sa directness, of course, you go on another search. You look for another article. Okay. Now, moving on, when you appraise validity, there are 4 recommended criteria. It's in the video. And these are questions answerable by yes or no. Of course, the more yeses, the better. So there may be some questions that you will answer no. No? Pero mas maganda kung lahat sila yes. Okay. So the first is, since you're comparing a diagnostic modality to something that is established, no, was the reference standard an acceptable one? Or you could also start with a question like, is there a reference standard? Okay. So in this particular case, at the time, no, yes, because it was the RT-PCR. Excuse me. Next, you have to answer, was a definition of the index test and the reference standard independent, meaning are the results completely delineated, as in different yung standards nila of saying which is positive or negative. So in this case, the particular article actually defined which portions of the focus would point to a positive result by a score. No? So gumawa siyang scoring system. So meron scoring system for focus, and these are the parameters by which they give a score. Okay. Now, the paper also presented the definition of a positive RTP. So, pareho silang may independent definition. Okay. Now, was the performance of the test and reference in the standard independent? So, ano ibig sabihin nito? When the index test kasi is being done in order for you to do the reference standard, that's not independent. So, dependent sila, di ba? So dapat the index test should be done, and its result, regardless, does not necessarily affect the performance of the reference standard. So in this particular article, the PCR was performed in all patients, and the focus was performed also. Okay, so the answer here is yes. Was the interpretation independent? Okay. When we say the interpretation independent, meaning the results were read separately. So hindi sila sinabay, hindi pinagsama yung results. They did not combine anything. So in this particular case, as stated here, is answered yes. Now, the purpose of me showing you an article is to tell you where to look when you do the appraisals yourself. Okay. So you really have to read it, and then it can either be presented in a tabulated form, a bulleted form, or a paragraph form, just so you know which parts you have to look for. Okay, so for this part, you have to look at the protocol and primarily the methodology. Okay? Now, once you assess the validity of your study, you then proceed to the meat, as Dr. Adupili called it, which is appraising the results. Okay, so ito yung medyo madugo kasi you have to, again, recall your beloved 2x2 tables. Okay, so this particular picture, also in the lecture, shows you the formulas that you need. Yan na, para di kayo malito. And we also labeled where you were going to put the index test result, variables, and the reference standard para hindi kayo magkabaliktad. Okay? Excuse me. Sorry. So, okay. Also to remind you, the formulas of your 2x2 table in terms of your sensitivity, specificity, and your positive and negative predictive values, which are things that you need to look at when you're appraising or evaluating the results of a study. So the clinical relevance of this, again, is that the sensitivity and specificity measures the accuracy of your test, while your positive and negative predictive values estimates the probability of disease given a test result. Now note that these four can only be applied when there are two results, diba? Kasi 2x2 table nga siya. Okay? So hindi pwede kung may multiple choice ka like ABCD. Hindi kaya. Okay? So for this particular article, so ito yung outcome niya. So this is how you extract your 2x2 table. So you look at this part here. So that's your 2x2 table. Okay? So plotting it as such. Okay? So try nyo rin to sa bahay, no? Compute nyo siya kung tama ba. So more or less here, based on the equation, it are your measures of accuracy and probability. Okay? Now, we also have what you call your likelihood ratio, which you will be using also as a measure. And these are the formulas. Okay, so you have your LR positive for those positive to the disease and your LR negative. Okay, so note na ang ano niya is sensitivity over 1 minus specificity for the LR positive or the likelihood ratio of positive results, and the LR negative is 1 minus sensitivity over specificity. Okay? So, kailangan i-memorize yan. Okay? So, again, your positive LR is the number of times that the probability of disease is increased given a positive result, while your negative LR is the number of times that the probability of disease is increased given a negative result as compared to a negative result. Okay, so using the values earlier, so ito yung sensitivity, specificity, pag kinompute natin siya, ito yung lalabas. Diba? So basically, di ba naka-percent sila, convert nyo sila, kaya siya naging 4 decimals. Okay? And then you get an LR positive of 2.36 and an LR negative of 0.07. Okay? Now actually, the article, show this, no? So parang just to show you lang na when you look at articles, you can actually recompute their values kasi baka mamaya may error. Ano. So at least you have your own set of data or evidence. Now, after you look at the results, you look at their applicability. So when you say applicability, you have to consider the following factors because some of the results of the test may be affected by them, which are your scraps, yung sex, comorbidities, race, age, pathology, and socioeconomic status. So why do you look at this? Kasi syempre, your patient in mind, or your group of patients may have different characteristics than the ones in the case, diba, or in the article. You have to take that into consideration. Kasi baka mamaya, valid naman yung results, okay yung mga measures niya, pero hindi pala siya applicable for one reason or another. Now, when you individualize the results, basically you look at what does the test, what impact does the test have on your patient's probability of having disease. So this is where your testing thresholds come in. So ito medyo ano siya, subjective. So it's predetermined based on other literature or in your opinion kung ano yung threshold mo. But what you look at here is your post-test probability. So again, these are the definitions of the different thresholds. I already explained this also in the video. And when you get your post-test probability, you can either use the normogram, which is basically you connecting three columns through a line that passes through pre-test probability and the likelihood ratio. Okay. Saan galing yung ano? Akin ba yun? May lumabas na point eh. Okay. You can also compute. So for example, siyempre hindi mahirap naman i-memorize yung normogram and we are not expecting anybody to memorize a normogram. You can also compute for the pretest probability as shown here. So I also showed you an example in the video of how to compute this using an example. Okay. Now, after you've determined that the post-test probability of your desired test is applicable, it's sufficient enough, now it comes to sharing the decision. So this is where you consider the following. Okay, so when you appraise an article, siyempre, you do this by following the rules na, and then you think, can I really apply this on this particular set of patients? Okay, pwede mo siyang i-apply, for example, kasi this one is for, hello, this one is for all COVID-19 suspected patients, di ba? Pero what if there's this particular patient in mind? Now, may na-encounter ka sa clinic. So these are some factors that you can consider on whether or not you will test or just simply treat the patient. So I also explained this in the video. All right, so yun lang po yung ating summary for this afternoon. If you have any questions that you want to ask now, you can use the chat box or raise your hand. Or if you're shy, you can email me or message me in Canvas. And don't forget to evaluate. Okay? Sige. Stop share lang ako. I'll also show you something else since we still have time. Huwag muna kayo magpuso kasi di pa tayo tapos, guys. Alright. Okay, so if you actually look in the internet and if you look at the last parts of the presentation, my video or my PowerPoint, you will see a different way of appraising an article on diagnostics. Actually, yung pinakita ko sa inyo was based on previous lectures and I deemed it appropriate for you guys to look at it as well. Kasi medyo ano siya, it's stepwise. So at least it can be it's sort of simple for your level. Okay. Here is another way of doing it, which I feel like you will be familiar with because this is found in your second year manual. Okay. Buhay pa ba yung mga second year manual nyo? I hope so. Okay. Can you see my screen? This is a PDF. Kita po?
Yes po, Doc.
Thank you, Angelo. All right. So if you're familiar with this page and you probably read through your manual, so ito siya. Meron actually part dun sa second year manual nyo on critical appraisal on an articles on diagnosis, and there's a clinical scenario there and an article. Yan. So pwede nyo siyang pag-practicean. I'll also give you another article to practice on. Again, as adult learners, I expect you to do your due diligence para matuto kayo. Okay? So if you see here, the questions are different from what I just explained, no? But if you look at the essence or the principle, it's the same. So this one, the relevance question or summary of the study, pertains to your directness. So are the objectives of the article relevant to your clinical dilemma? So medyo mas hinimay pa niya, no? By looking at the objectives. So madali lang, yes or no lang siya. No need for an essay type answer, diba? Similar to what I presented, you can also plot it as such, whether PCOM, POM, PO, PEO, yun. So just plot it and to see the similarities, okay? Now for validity, medyo different lang sila dito in that they added a question on the representativeness of the sample of subjects in the article, okay, being presented. So gusto rin niyang tingnan kung yung sample ba is representative of the whole population that you're intending to use a diagnostic test on. Okay? So number 2, 3, and 4, similar to the question I posted earlier or I shared or discussed earlier. So, yun na yun. Meron lang din silang added question na overall is the study valid. So, yes or no. Again, this is subjective. Okay? So, actually, when you do critical appraisals, like for me, when I was a resident, we did this every once in a while with our consultants. I-explain mo na lang why you think the study is valid. So, pwede actually ditong may no ka, pero feeling mas valid pa rin siya. You just have to explain. Okay? Pero as much as possible, again, with the validity, you have, the more yeses, the better. And then the results, as mentioned earlier, ito yung madugo kasi ito yung mga favorite nyong computin. Okay? So I also mentioned this earlier, yan, nasa manual nyo. So same lang, pati yung mga formula. And also how to plot the normogram. Okay? So mind you, it says here, preset diagnostic threshold and therapeutic threshold will guide the clinical decision on how to proceed with management, specifically in treatment. So, i-assure mo ba siya na feeling mo kasi wala yung disease o wala siyang COVID? Sa tingin, do you tell your patient na we need to test more or diretso na tayo sa treatment? Okay na yan. Ganun. Okay? So this is a more scientific way of deciding. So again, you have the normogram, your post-test probability computations. Now, when it comes to applicability, medyo may konting difference tayo dito. Kasi dito, in these questions, you're also looking at other factors like your medical, social, and economic resources. Whether or not, if you give this to a similar patient, will you probably get the same results? Or are they willing to accept the payment for the diagnostic test? So meron kang mga social and or socio-economic factors that you take into consideration when it comes to applicability, no? Not just the post-test probability. Okay? Now, at the end of your appraisal is, of course, your decision. So, based on the results of the article, blank. I decided to, ganito, pwedeng ganon, I decided to use this test, use focus for diagnosing COVID-19 in patients because one, ganyan, it's accurate. You can say that it's economically feasible at the time. It's less invasive than most and the resources are available, etc., etc. So, ganun kayo mag-critical appraisal. Now, in critical appraisals, except for the computations, I guess, it's a bit subjective. No, it's up to you. Again, it all boils down to your clinical question, whether or not masasagot mo siya using the evidence that you have and your analysis of the evidence that you found. Okay? So, saan pa natin to ma-apply? Also, when you're doing your review of literature, which I hope you're also finalizing for your final paper, which is due soon. Do you know when your paper is due? Hindi. Nakita nyo na ba yung syllabus? Actually, based on your syllabus, your papers are due on September
September.
30. Yes, that's the first draft. Okay? It's due on September 30. Ano ang ipapasa nyo? Hanggang saan? This is not a proposal anymore. This is your final paper. So, basically, what we are expecting on September 30 is a more or less first draft of your paper, which will be presented in the research forum. Okay? So I think next week you will have a consultation with your research advisors. So please take advantage of that. And I hope everybody is doing their data gathering or has finished data gathering and are moving on to analysis in the final parts of your paper. Okay? Just a few reminders lang, okay? You check your final paper for number 1, yung tenses nyo. Dapat past na siya, hindi na future, ha? And then, your review of related literature should be shortened down kasi maging significance na siya. So this is where you can also use actually critical appraisal. You look at the articles that you initially found and see if they are really helpful for your final paper. Dito pala si Dr. Wangko. Sir, nag-raise ka po ng hand. May question ka po?
Correction lang po, yung September 30, hindi yung first draft ha, final draft na yon.
Ayun, sorry po.
Research forum.
Final pala. Yun. For the research forum.
So pag nag-submit kayo sa September 30, yun na yung ano, i-defend nyo sa forum.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for that clarification. May iba pa ba tayong announcement, sir?
Wala naman so far.
For the research forum. I'm guessing naman po lahat na ng mga advisors ay sumasagot na po by now. And then, further instructions will be given by Dr. Diensoy as we approach your research forum. And I think some of the announcements are already there in Canvas. If you have any questions or concerns, kindly raise it now or as soon as possible para ma-address natin. Okay? Next week, sir, I think we have, tama no, sir, consultation with research advisors online, I believe.
Yes po, 16 yes.
So yun, that's your chance to ask your research advisors for advice or any help that you may need. Okay? May tanong po, not sa research forum pero sa critical appraisal. Yung budget daw po, ito pinapasabi ni Ma'am Pao, inaayos pa daw po. Thank you, Ma'am Pao. So for the budget requests, they're still under process, but I believe your advisors have told you na reimbursements will occur most likely, tama sir, no, next SEM pa. But we're trying to help release the funds as soon as possible kung kaya. Pero the processing may take some time. So I hope that's okay for everyone.
For the research budget, hindi ko alam kung if you'll be considered lucky or unlucky. Kasi this will be the last batch of students wherein UERM will finance the research. So, nagsabi na sila, hindi na sila mag-finance ng research. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. But your budget was sliced. So, a lot of the things that was previously approved is now disapproved. Ayan. So, maglalabas pa kami ng announcement ano yung mga in-approve, disapprove. Hindi na namin sa inyo pinabago, si Miss Pao na yung nagbago para mabilis, para ma-approve ka agad yung budget nyo. Based dun sa napag-usapan na pwede lang kuhanin sa UERM. Okay, so we are very sorry about that. Maraming changes sa admin so hindi natin masagot yung mga nangyayari. Okay. So
I
yun.
think lucky sila sir kasi sila yung last.
Lucky pa rin kayo kasi yung last na
Next year may Wangko scholarship na po for research. All right. There's a question in the chat box. So, clarification lang daw. Okay, let me clarify. Baka nalito kayo sa statement ko. Yung RRL nyo na mahaba nung una, nung research proposal, dun sa final paper nyo kasi IMRAD na yung format. So, yung relevant parts, I guess, can call it that, doon na po siya mapupunta sa introduction. Mainly because you want to see, syempre, parts of the RRL na pointing to the significance of those study, probably, mga ganon. Okay? I think si Dr. Tech discussed that. So, yun yung format na susundin natin. I only just mentioned it kasi yung appraisal, you can actually use it for, trimming down your RRLs during the proposal phase or actually during the final paper phase. Like for example, if you're working on getting it published but it's too long, halimbawa, titignan mo na yung mga article mo ng maigi. Okay? Thank you for that question. IMRAD na po isasubmit on September 30. Yes po, yun na po yung final paper na. Ayan, meron na po tayong, I think Dr. Wangko is sharing that this is your schedule. So submission of draft, initial draft should have been submitted last week. The final draft for oral presentation is on September 30. 5 hard copies po sana, and a soft copy to be sent via Canvas or through the email of Dr. Ayla. And don't forget you have a poster to do, which is due on October 21. Okay? For the poster, I think it was also explained, I think that was last week's session with Dr. RJ, no? How to do that. So, yeah. Okay, and then the final papers will be submitted on November 18 for those presenting on October 21 and November 4, and then December 7 for those presenting on November 15. If I'm not mistaken, it's more or less 2 weeks after your presentation, which gives you enough time to do the revisions based on what the judges will tell you during the forum. Okay? So during the forum, please take note kung ano sasabihin ng judges. Okay? Mag-assign kayo ng taong nagno-notes ng kung ano yung sinasabi nila, and you have to apply that dun sa paper. Some judges actually write on the hard copies of your papers as well. You can ask for them back so you can incorporate the changes on your final paper. Okay? Okay? May tanong pa. Teka, tingnan natin sa chat box. Ayun. So, to answer your question, IMRAD, yes, ang sasubmit on September 30. Okay? May tanong pa po. Kung wala po kayong tanong, baka si Dr. Wangko po magtatanong. Wala na. Okay, if there are no other questions or concerns, for the second part of checking your attendance, kindly fill up the evaluation form. It's posted on your Canvas, or if you saw the QR code I flashed earlier at the end of my presentation, that's it. You can look at Canvas, nandun naman forever yung evaluation form. So kindly fill it up for the session today as part of your attendance. Okay po ba yun? Alright. If there are no questions, don't hesitate to email kasi baka hindi nyo pa na-review yung video kaya wala pa kayong tanong. So, if you have any questions or medyo may magulong part, kindly message me on Canvas or email me anytime. I'll try to reply as soon as I can. Alright. Thank you so much for your kind attention. You may go.